Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, Wooden Railway Adventures, Episode 183, Victor's Locomotives. After being rescued from the other railway by Oliver, Victor the narrow gauge engine had finally found his calling at the Sodor Steamworks. In no time, he had been put in charge of all of the projects and restorations that needed to be completed. But there was still one engine that he kept overlooking. "Victor's looking a bit shabby," said Percy quietly to a new crane. "As the face of the steamworks, he should be one of, if not the best kept engine on the island." "I agree," said Kevin, "but Victor's so focused on his work that he hasn't had any time for himself." "He needs one of those makeovers he gives all of the other engines," agreed Percy. "You should talk to him about it. Plus, the smell of that old seawater on his paint is terrible." But Kevin was nervous. He had only just arrived at the steamworks and didn't want to tell his boss what to do. He tried mentioning it to him one night, but Victor wasn't having it. "There are no breaks at the steamworks," he insisted. "A day off means that all of the other engines will suffer without repairs, while I go and treat myself to a luxury they themselves are waiting for. I can't afford to lose such valuable time anyway." Kevin was rather distraught that Victor hadn't taken his advice. The next day, the steamworks was crowded with engines big and small, and everyone was very busy. "My boiler is aching," complained Rosie. "I understand. Have you tried some coal from a different hopper?" asked Victor. "No, but what I'd really like is a boiler flush," she admitted. That's not really my department," insisted Victor. "Ah, Ben, what brings you here?" "I'm still waiting on my new paint," reminded Ben. "I can't be stuck like this blue clown forever, you know." Yes. Go sit over there. I'll be with you in a moment." Ben puffed over and saw Stephen hanging from the rafters. "Stephen, what are you still doing here?" he asked. "Just waiting on my restoration," he replied indifferently. "This is the corner where Victor sends you if he doesn't have any time for you. Prepare for a good wait." "Oh, bother," groaned Ben. Just then, Skarloey puffed in. "Victor, there's been a collision at the incline between Peter, Sam, and Freddy. Both of them are fine, but they need repairs immediately." "Tell them they'll have to wait in line like everybody else," he insisted. "Kevin, where's my toolbox?" "Coming, boss," he shouted from afar. "The problem is," continued Skarloey, "there are some trucks that are jammed between them. They can't move until the repairs are done." "What? So you're saying I have to go to them?" Victor asked in disbelief. "That's not how the steamworks operates." "Then what's this car over here for?" quizzed Skarloey. "That's for mobile repairs." "Oh, fine, I'll go. Kevin, I'll be back in a bit. Please don't let everything go haywire while I'm gone." "Yes, Victor," he shouted as he came to a crashing stop. Have any of you seen Victor's toolbox?" Victor soon left with Skarloey, and Kevin was put in charge of the works. He honestly had no idea what to do. Hi, Ben," he said nervously. "What seems to be the problem?" "I'm waiting on some yellow paint to replace this dreadful blue undercoat," he said. "But Victor's been too busy lately, so I guess I'll go another day without it." "Oh, nonsense," smiled Kevin. "I'll send an engine to the paint factory to pick it up for you. That way, we can put it on you as soon as they get back." "Oh, that would be excellent," said Ben. Now which engine should I send?" pondered Kevin. How about you there, Rosie?" "She's really in no condition to go anywhere," said the workman. "Oh, pish-posh, she's not Henry," laughed Kevin. "I'm sure that boiler ache will go away with a nice run to the paint factory for Ben here." "But that's all the way on the other side of the island," gasped Rosie. "Time's a-tickin'," shouted Kevin. "Let's make Victor proud so that when he comes back from his little trip, he'll realize what a splendid crane, what really useful engines and workmen you all are. The rest of the engines were skeptical, but Kevin was in charge now. He was quite enjoying the opportunity, and it was fun telling all of the engines what to do. But his hubris soon got the best of him when Victor returned later that day. "Kevin, what happened here?" he shouted. "The steamworks is a mess. And why is Rosie missing? I told her to stay put." "I sent her to go pick up Ben's yellow paint," said Kevin smartly. "Although she should be back by now." Victor wheezed crossly. "No, Kevin. The reason Ben doesn't have a new coat of paint yet is because the paint factory is having a recall. I didn't want to tell him that because I figured it would make him upset. So I've been trying to break the news to him gently." "Aw," groaned Ben sadly. "I'm never going to get a new coat of paint." "Join the club," muttered Stephen. Just then a workman walked over. "We've just received word that Rosie crashed on her way back from the paint factory. She wasn't feeling well and accidentally drifted onto Thomas's branch line, where she—" "Victor!" came a loud voice. In puffed Thomas the tank engine, covered in a rainbow of paint colors from smokebox to cab. "What happened?" cried Kevin. "Rosie crashed into me at Ellsbridge Station," he complained. "You sent her on her way when she clearly wasn't feeling well, and look what happened. I'm a complete mess." "Good thing he doesn't know about the paint recall," chuckled Kevin. But Victor and Thomas glared at the new crane. "That's enough," shouted Victor. "You are all driving me loco. Crazy, that is. I can't work with this much confusion and delay surrounding me." Kevin felt terrible. He had tried his best to fill Victor's spot, but had only made a mess of everything. "I'm sorry, everyone," said Kevin sadly. "It's all my fault." "Oh, come on, Victor," said Stephen. "Give the crane a break, will you? He's just starting out, and you left him in charge of an awful lot of things." Victor realized that Stephen was right. He took a deep breath and sighed. "I'm sorry, Kevin, for placing the blame on you when it was my fault all along. In fact, the steamworks would be in much more chaos right now if you weren't here at all. I should be thanking you, not scolding you." "And I'm sorry too," added Kevin. "Who am I to try and pretend to be the best engine to ever run the steamworks?" "I hate to break up this nice moment, but what about the rest of us?" asked Thomas. "Victor, can you get this paint off of me or what?" "Yes, right away," replied Victor. "Although, if Rosie went to go pick up Ben's yellow paint, why are you covered in all sorts of different colors?" "I actually requested that Rosie bring you some red paint for a possible makeover," said Kevin shyly, "and I thought green would go well on Stephen over there." "Absolutely not," shouted Stephen certainly. "Well, that settles that," chuckled Victor. "That was awfully nice of you, Kevin, and as a thank you for all of your hard work, I suppose a new coat of paint wouldn't be so bad." "It's your only option," said the workman. "All of that slime and algae from the ocean would be impossible to get off without completely removing everything." "And with the recall on yellow paint from the factory," said Thomas, "it looks like red is your only option." "Or green," chuckled Kevin. "No, red is just fine," said Victor. "Once I'm done with today's duties, I'll treat myself, just like you said I should." And the next morning, when Kevin arrived at the steamworks, Victor's new coat of paint sparkled brilliantly in the sunshine. Kevin was very impressed. "Great choice," said Victor. "It's nice to change things up once in a while." Just then, James puffed in. "Victor, I was helping clean up Rosie's mess yesterday, and some paint—" "Hey, Victor? Victor? I wonder where he's gone off to." And James puffed away. Victor and Kevin looked at each other and smiled cheekily. It was certainly good to be friends again.